Yeah, undoubtedly, it's the Prime Minister's coalitions that has secured a slim majority, defeating the incumbent uh, Chief Ministers of Sabah, who is part of the broad coalitions that led by Anwar Ibrahim.
So where does it leave Anwar Ibrahim's move just last week to test the legitimacy of the Prime Minister?
Well, Anwar Ibrahim is a determined person. He will continue to put out a fight, to challenge, and to bid for his position as Prime Minister. Although I must admit, with this victory in the States, it seems that it gives a small boost to the Prime Minister.
Does it give him a small boost or does it give him breathing space? I mean, he still remains unpopular with many of the MPs.
It's very hard to make that distinction. Well, with a very slim majority, it is always difficult. And I think Tan Sri Muhyiddin, the Prime Minister, has been playing a balancing game in order to keep his position stable and also to keep a whole range of MPs stay in line with him. So in these situations, with the election victory in Sabah, it will give him a slight comfortable situation where he can claim that he has gained extra popularities in the states of Sabah, which is a bit of territories which normally out of reach by the current ruling coalition.
Yes. Anwar Ibrahim last week, when he made his statement saying that he was going to seek an audience with the king, said he had close to 2/3 of a majority and that he had enough of the numbers to change the prime ministership. Do you believe he has anywhere close to that a number of MPs, 2/3?
I think it's a bit difficult to access that claim of his situations because so far, for reasons known to him, he has not disclosed where the extra support's coming from. When he make such claim, definitely he might have received certain implicit or explicit supports that expressed only to him. So we are still in waiting for him to review to the party leaderships as well as his coalition members how did he get such a secure position.
Yeah. We heard a little from the king tonight. He said he was on the mend. He had been in hospital last week and hasn't responded to Anwar's request. Do you expect Anwar Ibrahim to be granted an audience with the king?
Well, it is the king's absolute rights to decide whether he wants to grant anybody an audience. It is also a possibility where the king might want whoever contenders to demonstrate some form of proof that they already have sufficient numbers. The king would not simply grant an audience to whichever factions or whichever party that claim that they already have a majority. So this is still quite a tricky issues, and we are awaiting earnestly for a formal response by the palace specifically to the request of Anwar Ibrahim.
Yeah. Do you think at this point, given the success of the current coalition in Sabah, it would be better to go to the polls and get a legitimate vote?
I think that could be something that the ruling coalitions are contemplating. It is somehow maybe in the ruling coalition's point of view, it might be to their advantage as they could enjoy certain popularity after a rather effective, measure in handling the COVID crisis. However, it is also because of the pandemic, a general elections might also be quite challenging because to campaign and to have various which involve a lot of crowds, a lot of interactions. This might also derail some of the very careful measure that has been done by the Ministry of Health in controlling COVID. So the government must weigh between the two, whether to put the public health as a priority or to seek legitimacy through a poll as the immediate necessity. So that's the power of the government to measure. Whatever it is, the political party in this country definitely are all gearing up towards a final possible eventuality that we have to go back to the poll.
Yes, and it seems like the horse trading and the negotiating is going to be very critical to all of this. Do you think Anwar took a bit of a gamble last week to sort of try and get that change before the Sabah elections that might have backfired?
Well, I think when Anwar made the announcement, I believe that he has calculated his risk. In that sense, it is quite a challenge because if he failed to produce the number this time, it will cause quite a dent to the coalitions, the opposition coalitions. And everyone's being very cautious and it's not yet jubilant despite his claim. People really want to see how Anwar individually is able to turn miracles for the opposition.
And if you were a betting man, what way would you go?
I wouldn't dare to bet because being a politician, I will always take a very careful approach. The important thing is that I think the public sentiment now in Malaysia is that the people facing certain political fatigue with an unstable political situation, and then with lots of political maneuver. Generally, the citizens of these countries are worried of jobs, worried about economic recovery. They're also worried about health, and all this add to anxiety to the public if the political saga and the stalemate continue.
Yeah, Tian Chua, really good to get your insights on this. We'll see how it plays out. Thank you.
Thank you.